It'll give us a... Hey friends, we're live at NAB 2018. It's Kirk Harnack along with my friend and our chief... Are you Chief Technology Officer?
Yes, I am.
All right. Chief Technology Officer Greg Shay. And Greg has made so many amazing innovations at the Telos Alliance. And Greg, here at NAB 2018, you probably have some thoughts on, how Teloship demonstrates some leadership, cooperation, what we're doing good for customers and for the industry here. What are a couple of your thoughts on those topics?
Sure. I'd like to answer that in terms of, what do I do at a trade show? It's not goofing off. It's actually a special opportunity because I'll work, the rest of the year and be paying attention to what's happening in the industry, what the new trends are. There's always this intersection of there's the new theory of what people are going to want to do, but when does it really start to happen? So at the trade show, the most valuable thing to me is when I get to sit down. It's usually about half a dozen, key customers who they're thinking ahead. They're thinking, what are they going to be doing in the next 3 to 5 years? And then when I talk to them about where we think what's going to be happening in the next 3 to 5 years, I find out, are we on track? Are we talking the same things? Sometimes the things that I say that I know we're working on affect what their thinking is. In other words, we can answer questions even in their strategic looking ahead. So it's kind of this special merging coming together of how the future happens. It isn't just reactive. You can't wait until something comes out or some new standard or something and then try to react to it. We're actually participating in creating that future.
So, 15 years ago, we began showing the beginnings of audio over IP, maybe 14 years ago or so. And that was with the LiveWire protocol because nothing else was really appropriate at the time for doing live audio over IP in a broadcast environment. So we started showing that. People started buying it. 8,000 consoles later, there are now standards that everyone is beginning to adhere to, AES 67, for example.
Right. It's been very rewarding to knowingly be part of a change in the industry. One of the things that's been really interesting to me is in 1998 when Steve and I began working on this technology, our point was, let's figure out how to use standard IT equipment, okay? And this will do a good job inside the studio. And we said, we know someday the bandwidths and the network would be more advanced, and then all of that network inside the studio will connect outside the building, and that will replace the Zephyr. As you know, Telos, one of our foundation products is the Zephyr, allowing you to do remote broadcast. So we knew someday, that's going to obsolete the Zephyr, and it's better to obsolete yourself than have somebody else do it for you.
Right.
Here's the piece. That was 20 years ago. Wow. 1998 to 2018. Yeah. I could not ever have imagined it would take 20 years, but here we are, and that future that we saw, Steve and I talked about 20 years ago, is now what's happening. So in business, you can be ahead of the market. If you have an idea that's going to be ripe 20 years from now, you're not going to make it for the next 19 years, right?
Right?
So all along the way, we built our path. We started using it inside the studio, and now is the time when those original concepts really are coming to fruition.
Well, and I think if we add television to the mix with the SMPTE 2110-30 standard, which incorporates AES 67, now when television moves to audio over IP, and of course video over IP for a lot of them, yes. All that's coming.